Sacramento, what's happening? Sacktown Pete back at it again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, we are talking about Pascal Siakam. Sacramento Kings and the Toronto Raptors had a basketball game last night, and this news broke in the morning that the Kings are a serious, strong suitor for Pascal Siakam's services. As before the tip-off, we got a tweet from Shams saying that the Sacramento Kings are deciding to pull out of the Pascal Siakam talks, sources say. Things can be fluid, but the Kings and Raptors talks are now over. So this literally happened right before the game tipped off, and there's just been the Kings have been linked to Pascal Siakam for quite some time now. They were also linked to OG Anunoby, who was dealt 2 weeks ago to the New York Knicks. And the Toronto Raptors made it clear they want to move Pascal Siakam before the trade deadline. And I think that they probably will move Pascal before the trade deadline, whether that's to the Kings or not. But, these talks can always, renegotiate and reopen up. I think the two things that I have in mind that might have just ended discussions for now. One is for sure is that the fact that the Toronto Raptors are on a West Coast road trip, and they have Golden State coming up pretty soon. And I think that they're just fielding offers and talking to teams that could potentially move Pascal Siakam and want Pascal Siakam. And I think that maybe they're just kind of fielding some offers, seeing what the asking price would be, or what the seller price would be for Pascal Siakam, fielding those calls to teams. But also, I think they obviously wanted Keegan Murray. And you know what? I don't blame them for wanting Keegan Murray, because Keegan Murray would be the asset that you return in, dealing with the Pascal Siakam sending him off. But the Sacramento Kings, I'm glad they standed put and said, no, Keegan Murray is not available, as he should not be available. The Raptors are selling Pascal Siakam and trying to unload him. They're in a different era right now because their contending era in the championship window is shut, and they're in a rebuilding mode. And I think the Kings definitely should still pursue Pascal Siakam, but don't give up. It shouldn't cost Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray is, a big part of your future, and he pretty much is that third piece next to Fox and Sabonis. I think the Kings it would have been crazy to pull off a Siakam deal without giving up Keegan Murray, as Pascal Siakam should be your part of your team without giving up Keegan Murray and become a big four. I'm talking about Fox, Sabonis, Murray, and Siakam. If Monty McNair and staff can somehow renegotiate and make that happen, acquiring Pascal Siakam without giving up Keegan Murray. I mean, guys, the trade deadline is not over. These talks are going to ramp up. You're probably going to hear a lot of other different trade rumors in the coming days and weeks, because the trade deadline is technically still a month away. We have until February 8th to make a move. And I think that things can get desperate. The Raptors might be wanting to move on from Pascal Siakam, and they might it might just come to the last hour, or if they have other offers they'll probably do that. But I feel like for the Kings' sake, Pascal Siakam would have been a fantastic pickup. I feel like you add a Pascal Siakam to Keegan Murray, Fox, and Sabonis, you pretty much have a big four. Offensively, he can get a basket. He can catch and shoot. He can put the ball and create his own shot. Put the ball on the floor, isolate and create his own shot. You can put him. The Sacramento Kings are a up-tempo team. As the pace slows down in the playoffs and it becomes more of a half-court setting to play, Pascal Siakam would be perfect in the half court for the Sacramento Kings. I mean, you can throw him the ball on the block. He can move. He can slash without the ball. And I feel like just the fit for the Kings would have been really, really good, because you already have a good, playmakers in Fox and Sabonis, and you already have a good lethal sniper in Keegan Murray. I think the fit would have been awesome. Defensively as well, you can put Pascal Siakam on the opposing team's best, player on the defensive end on a nightly basis. He's long, he's lengthy, he can block shots, he can play defense, and I feel like this would be a fantastic pickup. So, with that being said, right now, as Sham said, the talks are over for now, but obviously things can be fluid. And I think that if the Raptors may not be able to field another offer or get another offer to remove Pascal Siakam, they might revisit the Kings and see what they can do to get a deal done. I think it's crystal clear that Keegan Murray will not be moved. And I think the Raptors I think they probably asked for Keegan Murray or what it would take to acquire Keegan Murray. I just don't see it. My point is Keegan Murray should not be moved. That doesn't make any sense to move Keegan Murray and get Pascal Siakam. I think that's just not enough to move the needle moving forward because you're giving up a young lethal sniper who can ultimately become your best player one day, in Keegan Murray, for Pascal Siakam. Let me know your guys' thoughts though. I'm curious to hear from you guys and get you guys' take on this Pascal Siakam Sacramento Kings rumor. We'll see though, man. I mean, just strap in because you're hearing about Pascal Siakam now. You'll probably hear about somebody that we're not even talking about right now. The coming days, coming few weeks. Zach LaVine's still out there. What do the Jazz do with Lauri Markkanen? It's going to be very, very interesting the next couple days, couple weeks leading up to the NBA trade deadline. But make no mistake about it. The Sacramento Kings obviously have to make a move. The Western Conference is wide open, and I feel like you have a superstar point guard of Fox entering his prime. You have an elite all-star, perennial all-star dominant big in Domantas Sabonis, who's also entering his prime. And you have a lethal, young sniping star in Keegan Murray on the wing. So I feel like adding another piece to your three-headed monster to ultimately become a better team that will push the needle, that will make the Sacramento Kings a legitimate favorite to come out of the Western Conference, is the goal for Monte McNair and staff. I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see what he does. Like I said, appreciate you guys tuning in. I want to hear from you guys. That's going to do it for today's video. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Have yourself a great rest of your weekend. I will catch you guys in the next video.